Hey, this is John with the Chugach National Forest Avalanche Center. I just wanted to take a minute to share a new tool that we have on our website, a mapping tool to help people better understand avalanche terrain. So I'm going to run through this new tool and give a little tutorial on how to use it. So it's located, I'm here on our homepage of our website. If you go under the drop-down tab, Resources and Maps, click on that. It'll take you to kind of a list of different mapping resources that we have. For today, we're going to focus on this avalanche terrain exposure scale web map. So we developed this last fall and are now using it actively at the Avalanche Center and want to make it a little more available to the public. So if we click on that image, it takes us to an interactive web map. So this page has a combination of this web map at the top with place names, parking areas, and this avalanche terrain exposure scale, which I'll explain a little more in a second. If you scroll down, you can get more information about how to use the map. It's a little different on a desktop like where I'm at right now versus on the phone, but it does work with both. It gives a little bit of background on what the avalanche terrain exposure scale is and how we generated these AITS ratings, so a little more technical details on where the scale comes from, and then how it's been used in the past as a part of a decision-making tool in combination with an avalanche forecast. So coming back up to this map, you can see it basically covers most of our forecast zones. So it covers the Chugach Front Range, the Girdwood and Turning and Pass forecast zone, and the Summit Lake forecast zone. Unfortunately, it does not cover the Seward forecast zone yet, but we hope to add that in the near future. And as you're zooming around, you'll see these different place names will pop up. So if we go to somewhere familiar, like Turning and Pass, you can see there's a bunch of different place names along the motorized side, as well as all the different ridges on the skier side. And if there's something that you're not seeing that you think should be there, try zooming in, because the more you zoom in, the more place names are going to pop up. So that's one really useful feature. If you're reading an observation or submitting an observation and you're not sure what the local name is for the feature that you're traveling on, this can be a helpful way to look that up. Also shows the most popular parking spots along throughout the forecast region, which can be helpful if you're new to the area. And then the real point of building this is these avalanche terrain exposure scale ratings. So that's this colored layer in the background that goes from white to red. And this is essentially a system that was developed in Canada to help simplify folks understanding avalanche terrain exposure. So how dangerous is the terrain? And the scale goes from non-avalanche terrain to simple, challenging, complex, and extreme. So it's a 5-level scale. The labels are down there at the bottom of the map if you forget. And it's based on things like slope angle, forest cover, how large the avalanche start zones are, whether it's inside of a runout zone. There's a whole multitude of different terrain factors that are used to create these AITS ratings. But the simple rating is just going to give you an overall sense of, okay, how dangerous is this terrain and should I go there under the current conditions? So you can use the web map. If you press Control on the computer, you can put it into kind of a 3-dimensional mode. So maybe we'll zoom in on Tin Can. And you can see there's some common names for the different runs on Tin Can and then these different colors. So parking lot is in this non-avalanche terrain, which means you should never be able to see an avalanche there. Most of the normal up route on Tin Can is in the simple area, which if we scroll down a little bit, we can see the definition for simple is exposure to low angle or primarily forested terrain. Some forest openings may involve runout zones of infrequent avalanches and terrain traps may exist. Many options to reduce or eliminate exposure. So it gives you a sense of how you might manage that terrain with your group and where it might be appropriate to go on different days. I'm not going to go through each one of these sections. I just want to kind of intro this and make it known that it's available for use in the public. If you want, especially if you're using it on a phone, it can be useful to click in the top right here. There's a full page tab, and it ends up pretty small on the phone. So you might want to use that to zoom in more. And then you can always turn off and on the AITS layer here with the click button in the top left to help you get located relative to other terrain features with this satellite imagery based map. So hopefully you find it useful. If you have any feedback, please let us know